We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Inflation, student loans, a Project Veritas expose, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. With Democrats securing a Senate majority thanks to Senator Catherine Cortez Masto's narrow re-election victory, attention shifted to the last 20 uncalled races that will determine which party controls the House. Republicans have secured 212 seats, just short of the 218 needed for a majority, but Democrats are close behind with 204 seats. Republicans are expected to eke out a narrow majority, but flipping a few tight races could give Democrats a surprise victory. California might hold the key, with 10 of the races most likely to flip remaining too close to call. It will absolutely come down to California, said David Wasserman, a House campaign analyst, with the nonpartisan Cook Political Report with Amy Walter. U.S. District Judge Mark Pittman blocked President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, which was already on hold as a federal appeals court considers a separate challenge by 6 states. Pittman, an appointee of former President Donald Trump, said Biden overstepped his authorities at the expense of Congress's power to make laws. In this country, we are not ruled by an all-powerful executive with a pen and a phone, Pittman wrote in his ruling. The Job Creators Network Foundation filed the lawsuit in October, challenging the program on behalf of one borrower who wouldn't qualify for the full $20,000 in debt relief and another who wouldn't be eligible for any of it. The Justice Department has filed an appeal. The Consumer Price Index showed that prices increased by 7.7% in October, compared to a year earlier, less than the 7.9% analysts had expected, and a drop from the 8.2% in September. The news suggested that the Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes were proving effective in cooling the economy. However, inflation still remains at historic highs, and some elements of the report brought less than good news. Household energy rose 20.8%. Gasoline rose 18.2%. Groceries overall rose 13%, though some items like eggs rose much higher. A teacher at Greens Farms Academy has been fired after a Project Veritas video was posted online Thursday that appears to show the middle school educator allegedly making sexually explicit statements about his students. Project Veritas released the nearly 10-minute video Thursday afternoon. A man identified as Iman Rasti can be seen talking in a restaurant to someone off-screen who is described as a Project Veritas journalist. This is the second recent video of Connecticut schools showing discriminatory and predatory behavior on the part of Connecticut teachers. Ukrainian President Zelensky said Russia forces committed war crimes in Kherson before they fled the key city in southern Ukraine last week. Investigators have already documented more than 400 Russian war crimes. Bodies of dead civilians and servicemen have been found, Zelensky said in his nightly video address. Ukrainian forces swept into the city over the weekend and were greeted by cheering residents. Most homes in Kherson remained without power and water service, but utility companies in the region were working on restoring electricity and other infrastructure damaged or mined by retreating Russian soldiers. Kherson was the only regional capital Russia had been able to capture since launching its invasion in February. Finally, Marvel's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever grossed an estimated $180 million domestically in its opening weekend, leading the box office. That's a bit below the $202 million opening of the 2018 original, but it's still the second biggest domestic debut of 2022, behind Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which brought in $187 million. This is also the biggest domestic opening ever for a movie released in November, a record previously held by The Hunger Games: Catching Fire with $158 million, and the 13th biggest of all time. It's a major success for a movie that faced a significant uphill battle on its way to the theaters, as Chadwick Boseman, who starred as Black Panther in the acclaimed original film, died in August 2020 from cancer. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.